Hello and welcome to yet another episode of the eSports IQ podcast series. Yes, we're back for one more go round. I'm Alex Fletcher, and today's topic is unlocking cryptocurrency's esports potential. Now, I am not a crypto fan, but I recognize the tremendous upside that cryptocurrency and other technologies like blockchain and non-fungible tokens represent in the world of esports and gaming, but also generally. I believe the metaverse is going to be a very real thing. I believe it's already here in certain forms, and there's no escaping it. That being said, I'm not exactly a fanboy for crypto specifically. And I think that the biggest challenge that crypto and some of those other technologies are facing in esports is that it lacks an emotional connection with esports fans. So a lot of the brand marketing spin in the form of sponsorship with esports teams and leagues is falling flat. Once again, in my opinion, because emotional connection is incredibly important in esports. And that's because gaming is the only form of software that people actually love. And people actually forget that games are just software. But because of that intimate relationship with emotion, effective esports marketing has to tap into the same. And a lot of crypto detractors, in my opinion, have a good point because there's a lack of emotional connection. And by that, I mean, without emotional connection, it's only natural that people will use rational arguments to detract from new things. A lot of people will call crypto scammy. They'll point out very real impacts on the environment that blockchain technologies have. But think about how many scam-ridden outlets exist in the world today that continue to thrive due to an emotional connection. For those of you who are traditional sports fans, you're aware of sports memorabilia. That area is rife with scams, but it generates billions, and people don't bat an eye because objects from traditional sports mean so much. I mean, the entire global tech industry is a negative strain on the earth too, but that doesn't keep people from loving their tech products like cell phones. So it's not that any of those rational arguments against crypto don't matter. It's that without an emotional connection, it's difficult to overcome them. Now, the question is, how do you become emotionally relevant to esports fans? So let's take a look at 3 elements that I believe all crypto companies should integrate into their esports marketing strategies. The first of which is really focusing on shared meaning. And shared meaning is important to me because a brand is nothing but shared meaning. It's like the old saying, your brand, a brand, is what people say about a product, a company, or a person when they're not around. And it's not what you think it is, it's what other people think it is. And to really nail great brand marketing, or rather brand building, and I talked about that in another episode, you've got to focus on what you want that shared meaning to be and then deliver it through mass marketing. That means reaching the maximum number of people possible. That means getting the word about shared meaning out to as many people as is relevant. And you got to do it in an attention-grabbing, a memorable, and a creative way. And more crypto companies have to do that. There has to be more creativity. There has to be more off the wall in your marketing because, number one, this is a new space. It's a new product. And brand building in nascent industries is hard. It's very difficult to build a brand for something that's new because people are getting used to the offering. But still, you've got to nail what that shared meaning is going to be for communities of people. The second step is tapping into the pleasure principle. Right now, this is something that NFTs, which I think have massive upside in esports, suffer from. They don't offer value in the form of pleasure that exceeds the pain of the required effort of adoption or even just, using them. And until you correct that ratio where there's more pleasure or expected pleasure, people are reticent to use your product. They are reticent to accept it. Coke is a great example of how they've built the world's most valuable brand on associating Coke with happiness. There's no evidence that drinking a Coke will make you happy, but they have consistently over generations hammered that into consumers' heads that we are associated with happiness and joy. If I expect to be happy drinking it, I'm more likely to drink it. And last but not least, the third step is creating a relationship with experiences that don't yet exist in esports. And this is really important. FTX is a crypto company that sponsors Team Solo Mid, a leading North American esports organization, as well as Riot Games, League of Legends Pro Circuit. I'd love to see them do something like a sponsor NFTs for the League of Legends Hall of Fame. I can't go on social media for too long without hearing someone saying, well, who would you have in your League of Legends Hall of Fame? Why not activate around NFTs for like some of the greatest League players of all time? Associating a product, a service, a brand with emotionally compelling experiences like that has tremendous ROI and upside for crypto companies. Now, to recap, the biggest hurdle for cryptocurrencies in esports, in my opinion, is the lack of emotional connection with fans. And there are 3 steps I believe all of those companies should strongly consider. First one is focusing on a shared meaning within the wider esports community / gaming community. Pleasure principle, making sure it's clear what pleasure is associated with the use of cryptocurrency related technologies. And then last but not least, building a strong relationship with or association with experiences. And as usual, thanks for joining me. I really love hearing feedback that you guys have. So don't forget to drop a like or a comment. Take care and goodbye.